into the hack, Batman discovered a series of encrypted messages hidden within the GPD's system. After hours of deciphering the code, he uncovered a shocking revelation. The League of Shadows had infiltrated the police department and orchestrated the entire hack. What's more, they had done so with the help of a highly skilled computer hacker. Batman couldn't help but think of Selina Kyle. Could she be involved in this plot? The thought made his heart ache, but he knew he had to consider every possibility. He decided to track down Selina and confront her about her potential involvement. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to Batman, Selina had been conducting her own investigation into the computer hack. She had discovered that someone within the League of Shadows had contacted her, offering a significant sum of money in exchange for her skills. Selina had initially accepted the offer, intrigued by the challenge and the potential payout. However, as she learned more about the League's true intentions, she began to have second thoughts. As Batman and Catwoman continued their separate investigations, they were each led to a mysterious warehouse on the outskirts of Gotham. Inside, they discovered a secret meeting taking place between the key members of the League of Shadows, led by none other than Ra's al Ghul. Upon seeing each other, Batman and Catwoman shared a tense moment, each unsure of the other's true intentions. But it quickly became clear that they both wanted to stop the League of Shadows and protect Gotham City. Together, they formulated a plan to expose the League's infiltration of the GPD and put an end to their sinister plot. But as they worked side by side, Batman couldn't help but be torn between his feelings for Selina and his duty to protect the city he loved. And as they prepared to face off against the League of Shadows, they knew that their actions would have far-reaching consequences for both Gotham and their own futures. I couldn't help but feel a mixture of relief and lingering doubt as Selina and I worked together to expose the League of Shadows' infiltration of the GPD. The possibility that she might have been involved in their plot had weighed heavily on my mind, but her actions spoke volumes. Our mission was far from over, though. We still had to face Ra's al Ghul and his powerful allies. As we prepared our strategy, a new development emerged. Alfred contacted me over the Batcoms, his voice tense. Master Wayne, I have some troubling news. It seems that Poison Ivy has targeted you, or rather, Bruce Wayne. Poison Ivy. I muttered, my heart racing. What's her plan? She's been spotted at Wayne Enterprises, Alfred informed me. She's taken several employees hostage and is demanding that Bruce Wayne make a public appearance. I sighed, my mind racing. Selina, we have a new problem. Poison Ivy is at Wayne Enterprises. She's taken hostages and wants me, Bruce Wayne, to show up. Selina's eyes narrowed. That's not good. What are you going to do? I have to go, I said with determination. You need to continue our plan to expose the League of Shadows. I trust you, Selina. She nodded, her eyes filled with resolve. I won't let you down, Bruce. Be careful. As I made my way to Wayne Enterprises, my thoughts were a whirlwind. Why would Poison Ivy target me? Was she working with the League of Shadows, or was this a separate threat? I couldn't afford to underestimate her. When I arrived, I found Poison Ivy waiting for me in my office, her green eyes gleaming with menace. She had wrapped her vines around my terrified employees, holding them captive. Ah, Mr. Wayne, she purred, her voice dripping with malice. So nice of you to join us. What do you want, Ivy? I demanded, trying to maintain my composure. "Oh, it's simple, really," she replied, a wicked smile playing on her lips. "You see, your company has been responsible for some unsavory business practices. Practices that have hurt the environment and the plants I hold so dear. You will publicly admit to these misdeeds and pledge to change your ways, or your precious employees will suffer." I looked into her eyes and knew she meant every word. I would have to find a way to save my employees and stop her, without revealing my true identity. It would be a delicate balancing act, but I was up to the challenge. Little did I know, our confrontation with Poison Ivy would lead me further down the twisted path of the League of Shadows, Selina's loyalties, and the ultimate battle for Gotham City's soul. After managing to subdue Poison Ivy and save the hostages, I returned to the Batcave, my mind heavy with the realization that my enemies were growing bolder by the day. Ivy's actions had put Bruce Wayne and Batman on a collision course, and I knew I couldn't keep this up for much longer. It wasn't long before I was called into action again. Selina, now in her Catwoman persona, had located a secret League of Shadows hideout in Gotham. She sent me the coordinates, and I quickly suited up, my heart pounding in anticipation. When I arrived at the location, I found Catwoman perched on a rooftop ledge, her eyes scanning the surrounding area. "Glad you could make it, Batman," she purred, her voice teasing yet tense. "I appreciate the intel, Catwoman," I replied, my gaze focused on the building below us. "What's the plan?" "We take them down, together," she said, a hint of excitement in her voice. "Think you can keep up?" I smirked beneath my cowl. "Try to keep up with me." Together, we infiltrated the League of Shadows hideout, our movements in perfect sync. As we fought our way through their ranks, I couldn't help but be impressed by Catwoman's skill and grace. She was every bit my equal, and I found myself both exhilarated and unnerved by the partnership we had formed. As we battled our way deeper into the hideout, we were confronted by a group of heavily armed League members, led by a woman who moved with deadly precision. It was clear she was a high-ranking member of the organization, and the danger she posed was evident in every move she made. "Batman, Catwoman," she sneered, her eyes cold and calculating. "I've been looking forward to this moment." Without warning, she lunged at us, her sword slashing through the air. Catwoman and I fought side by side, our movements fluid and seamless as we countered her relentless attacks. The battle was intense, and I could see the strain in Catwoman's eyes as we fought to keep the upper hand. Despite our efforts, the woman managed to land a hit on Catwoman, slicing her arm and drawing blood. The sight of her pain sent a surge of anger through me, and I redoubled my efforts, my fists ablur as I fought to protect her. Finally, with a well-timed punch, I sent our assailant sprawling to the ground, her sword clattering across the floor. Catwoman and I stood over her, our chests heaving from the exertion. "We did it," Catwoman panted, her eyes wide with adrenaline. "Together." As I looked into her eyes, I felt a strange mixture of relief, pride, and something else, something I couldn't quite put my finger on. But I knew one thing for certain, our alliance had grown stronger than ever, and together, we would bring down the League of Shadows and save Gotham City. The following day, as Bruce Wayne, I attended a charity gala at Wayne Manor. The glittering event was filled with Gotham's elite, all gathered to raise funds for a new children's hospital. As I made my way through the crowd, I spotted a familiar face, Ra's al Ghul. The leader of the League of Shadows stood out among the guests, his piercing eyes and enigmatic presence drawing my attention. I approached him, careful to keep my surprise and suspicion hidden behind a polite smile. "Mr. Algul," I said, extending my hand. "I didn't expect to see you here." "Mr. Wayne," he replied, shaking my hand firmly. "Your philanthropy is well known, and I must admit that I find your efforts to improve Gotham City commendable." "Thank you," I replied cautiously. "It's always a pleasure to meet someone who shares my dedication to making the city a better place." "Indeed," Roz agreed. "Though our methods may differ, our goals are not so different, are they?" I raised an eyebrow, sensing the unspoken challenge in his words. "Perhaps not. But I believe in working within the law to effect change." Roz chuckled, a sinister edge to his laughter. "Ah, the law. A fragile construct, easily manipulated by those with power and influence. The League of Shadows seeks a more direct approach." I clenched my jaw, struggling to maintain my composure. "I can't say I agree with your methods, Mr. Algul." He leaned in closer, his eyes locked onto mine. "Tell me, Mr. Wayne, have you ever considered that your crusade to save Gotham may be doomed to fail?" I met his gaze, refusing to be intimidated. "I believe that every life I save, every criminal I bring to justice, is a step towards a better future for this city." Roz smiled, a predatory gleam in his eyes. "Very well. I look forward to seeing the fruits of your labor." With that, he turned and walked away, leaving me with a sense of unease that I couldn't shake. I knew that Ra's al Ghul was a formidable opponent, and that his presence in Gotham spelled danger for both Batman and Bruce Wayne. But I also knew that I couldn't back down. I had a responsibility to protect my city, and I would face whatever challenges lay ahead, no matter the cost. As I continued to dig deeper into the League of Shadows, it became clear to me that Ra's al Ghul's presence in Gotham was far from coincidental. Through my investigations as Batman, I discovered that the League had infiltrated various levels of the city's infrastructure, from the GPD to the local politicians. Their influence was pervasive, and it seemed that their goal was nothing short of total control over Gotham. The more I learned about the League, the stronger my vendetta against them grew. I couldn't stand idly by while they manipulated and corrupted my city from within. I vowed to dismantle their network and put an end to their schemes. As I worked tirelessly to uncover the League's secrets, I found myself crossing paths with Catwoman more frequently. Though our relationship remained complicated, I couldn't deny that her skills and knowledge of the criminal underworld proved invaluable in my fight against the League. One night, while tracking down a lead on a League-safe house, Catwoman and I stumbled upon a secret meeting between several high-ranking members of the organization. We listened from the shadows, as they discussed their plans to further infiltrate the GPD through a complex computer hack. The implications were chilling. If the League succeeded in taking control of the GPD's systems, they would have unprecedented power over Gotham's law enforcement and, by extension, the city itself. Determined to put a stop to their plans, Catwoman and I teamed up to gather evidence and expose the League's conspiracy. As we worked together, I found myself growing closer to Selina, her wit and determination drawing me in despite my reservations. But in the back of my mind, a nagging doubt remained. Could I truly trust Catwoman, or was she just another pawn in the League's twisted game? As Catwoman and I closed in on the League's stronghold, I knew that our confrontation with Ra's al Ghul was inevitable. He was the puppet master behind the League's infiltration of Gotham, and it was clear that he wouldn't go down without a fight. The night was cold and the moonlight cast eerie shadows on the abandoned warehouse that served as the League's hideout. Catwoman and I approached cautiously, our senses on high alert. As we entered the warehouse, we were met with an eerie silence. It was obvious that the League was prepared for our arrival. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, clad in the dark robes of the League of Shadows. It was Ra's al Ghul, his eyes burning with a cold fury. "So, you've finally come to challenge me, Batman," he sneered, his voice dripping with contempt. "I must say, I'm disappointed. I had hoped you would join me in our quest for a better Gotham. But instead, you've chosen to align yourself with a common thief." I clenched my fists, anger and frustration boiling inside me. "Your idea of a better Gotham is nothing more than a twisted fantasy, Raz. I'll never be a part of it." With a sinister grin, Ra's al Ghul lunged forward, his sword slashing through the air. I barely managed to dodge the deadly blade, using my own weapon to parry his attack. Our swords clashed, the sound echoing through the warehouse as we engaged in a fierce battle. Catwoman, meanwhile, had her hands full with several League members who had joined the fray. Her agility and cunning were more than a match for them, but I couldn't help but worry about her safety. As my battle with Raz raged on, I could see that he was a formidable opponent. His swordsmanship was unparalleled, and he fought with a ruthless determination. But I refused to give in, using every ounce of my strength and skill to counter his relentless assault. As we fought, I could feel the weight of the city on my shoulders, the responsibility of protecting Gotham driving me forward. I knew that I couldn't afford to fail, that the fate of my city hung in the balance. Our swords continued to clash, the metallic sound ringing through the warehouse. Sweat trickled down my brow as I searched for an opening in Ra's al Ghul's defenses. At that moment, Catwoman's voice rang out, drawing my attention. "Bruce, I need to tell you something," she shouted, her eyes filled with urgency. "What is it, Selina?" I asked, not taking my eyes off my formidable opponent. "I didn't tell you the whole truth about the computer hack plot. There's more to it than I originally let on," she confessed, her voice strained. I hesitated for a moment, torn between the battle with Raz and the revelation Catwoman was about to share. But I knew that whatever it was, it could potentially change the course of our mission. I managed to momentarily disarm Raz, and used the brief reprieve to hear Catwoman out. "Selina, what are you talking about?" I questioned, my heart pounding in my chest. She took a deep breath before continuing. "The computer hack plot was designed to expose the League's control over GPD, but there was more to it. I was also gathering information to help take down the League for good. The hack was a means to an end, Bruce. I wanted to stop them just as much as you do." I stared at her, a mixture of relief and gratitude washing over me. "Thank you, Selina. I trust you." With a renewed sense of determination, I turned my attention back to Ra's al Ghul, who had regained his footing and was once again preparing to strike. As our swords met once more, I could see the surprise and rage in his eyes. "You may have discovered our plans, Batman, but you will not stop the League of Shadows. We will rise again, stronger than before," he bellowed, launching another furious attack. Together, Catwoman and I fought side by side, determined to put an end to the League's reign of terror over Gotham. And with every strike, I knew that we were one step closer to saving our city. As we continued to battle Ra's al Ghul and his henchmen, I couldn't shake the internal conflict that raged within me. My desire for vengeance against those who sought to destroy Gotham City was at odds with my growing love for Selina. I found myself questioning whether I could fully commit to our relationship while the specter of the League of Shadows hung over us. Would my quest for justice ultimately jeopardize what we had built together? Could I truly allow myself to trust her, knowing that her past actions were rooted in her own personal vendettas? As I deflected another of Ra's al Ghul's blows, I caught a glimpse of Catwoman in the fray, gracefully dodging her opponent's attacks with the same skill and cunning that had first drawn me to her. In that moment, I was reminded that our shared drive to protect Gotham was what united us, the very thing that made us a formidable team. "We can do this, Batman," Selina shouted, her eyes meeting mine as she momentarily disarmed one of her adversaries. I nodded, allowing myself to trust in her and in our partnership. Together, we'll take them down. Fueled by that conviction, we fought with renewed vigor, our movements synchronized and fluid. As I took down the last of Ra's al Ghul's henchmen, I turned to see Selina deliver a final, decisive blow to the League's leader. He crumpled to the ground, defeated and unconscious. With the immediate threat neutralized, I approached Catwoman, my heart heavy with the weight of our victory and the knowledge of the challenges that still lay ahead. "Selina," I began, my voice wavering slightly. "I want you to know that I trust you, and I care for you deeply. But we both know that the path we've chosen is a dangerous one, and our love for one another may only make it more so." She looked at me, her eyes filled with understanding and sadness. "I know, Bruce. But I also know that we're stronger together than we are apart. And I'm willing to face whatever comes our way, as long as we face it together." I hesitated for a moment before finally taking her hand in mine, my resolve strengthening. Together, I agreed, knowing that the road ahead would be fraught with peril, but that our love would be our guiding light in the darkness. After the dust settled, Selina and I returned to the Batcave to regroup and plan our next move against the League of Shadows. It seemed that Ra's al Ghul had been the tip of the iceberg, and we were eager to uncover the full extent of their nefarious plans for Gotham City. As I sifted through the data we had collected, I received a distress call from Commissioner Gordon. Poison Ivy had resurfaced, and it appeared she had set her sights on Bruce Wayne as her next target. "Selina," I said, my concern evident in my voice. "It looks like we have another problem to deal with. Poison Ivy is back, and she's targeting me, or rather, Bruce Wayne." She frowned, her brow furrowed in thought. "Why would she go after Bruce Wayne? What does she stand to gain?" I leaned back in my chair, considering the possibilities. Ivy has always been an eco-terrorist at heart. Perhaps she sees Wayne Enterprises as a threat to her cause. Or maybe she's discovered my secret identity and is trying to strike at the heart of Batman. Selina nodded, her expression determined. "Regardless of her motives, we need to stop her before she causes any more harm." Together, we formulated a plan to confront Poison Ivy and protect Bruce Wayne. Disguised as Bruce, I would attend a charity gala that Wayne Enterprises was hosting, an event Ivy was likely to target, while Selina, as Catwoman, would provide backup and surveillance from the shadows. As I entered the opulent ballroom, I kept my senses on high alert, ready for any sign of Poison Ivy's presence. The room was abuzz with Gotham's elite, but I knew that beneath the veneer of glamour and sophistication lurked a danger that could strike at any moment. As the charity gala unfolded, I noticed the attendees around me becoming increasingly uneasy, their conversations growing hushed and tense. I suspected that poison ivy had already infiltrated the event and was preparing to strike. I discreetly reached for my comlink and murmured to Selena, "Keep your eyes peeled. Something's not right here." "I've noticed it too," she whispered back. "I'm on the lookout for anything unusual." As I scanned the room, I spotted a group of people huddled around a laptop at the far end of the ballroom. They seemed to be frantically trying to fix something, and I could sense their growing panic. Making my way over, I tried to inconspicuously peer over their shoulders. I caught a glimpse of lines of code flashing across the screen, and my heart sank as I realized what was happening. The League of Shadows had initiated their computer hack, and it was already wreaking havoc on the GPD's systems. "Ivy's not our only problem tonight," I whispered to Selena. "The League of Shadows has begun their hack. We need to put a stop to it." "Understood," she replied. "I'll keep an eye on the situation here. You deal with the hack." I slipped away from the gala, making my way to a hidden alcove where I could change into my Batman attire. Once suited up, I raced across the rooftops of Gotham, heading straight for the GPD's main server room. When I arrived, I found the door to the server room wide open, and the room itself in disarray. It seemed that the League of Shadows had infiltrated the building and tampered with the servers directly. I immediately set to work, trying to reverse the damage they had done and secure the GPD's systems once more. As I worked, I couldn't help but worry about Selena and the situation back at the charity gala. With poison ivy on the loose and the GPD compromised, we were fighting on two fronts and the stakes had never been higher. After successfully reversing the hack and restoring the GPD's systems, I knew I had to uncover how the League of Shadows had infiltrated the department. Every lead I followed seemed to take me further into a web of deception and corruption. As Batman, I couldn't afford to let this go unchecked. I began my investigation by seeking out informants within the criminal underworld. My sources pointed me toward a shadowy figure who had been conducting business with some of Gotham's most notorious criminals. The mysterious figure had been supplying them with advanced weaponry and technology in exchange for their loyalty to the League. My search led me to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. I found the place heavily guarded, with armed men patrolling the area. I knew I had to be cautious and stealthy in my approach. I swiftly took down the guards one by one, using the shadows to my advantage. As I infiltrated the warehouse, I found evidence of the League's involvement with the GPD. There were documents detailing their plans to corrupt high-ranking officials within the department, as well as blueprints for an advanced surveillance system that would give the League unprecedented access to the city's infrastructure. I was disturbed to find that some of the corrupted officers were people I had once trusted, like Commissioner Gordon. It pained me to think that he could be involved in such a nefarious scheme, but I couldn't let my personal feelings cloud my judgment. I needed to bring the League of Shadows to justice and expose their insidious plot. As I continued to investigate, I discovered that the mysterious figure orchestrating the League's operations in Gotham was none other than Ra's al Ghul himself. It seemed that he had returned from the dead once again, determined to see his twisted vision for the world come to fruition. In order to stop Ra's and his League of Shadows, I knew I had to find a way to dismantle their operation from the inside. I gathered all the evidence I could find and prepared to confront Roz directly. But first, I had to deal with the corruption within the GPD and protect the city from the League's clutches. I returned to the Batcave and began compiling a list of the officers and officials who had been compromised by the League. It was a heartbreaking task, knowing that so many people I had once considered allies were now working against me. But I couldn't let sentimentality stand in the way of my mission to save Gotham. Once I had identified the corrupt officers, I anonymously forwarded the evidence to the remaining trustworthy members of the GPD. I hoped that by exposing the corruption, we could begin to rebuild the department and restore the public's faith in the justice system. With the GPD situation handled, I knew it was time to confront Ra's al Ghul and put an end to his schemes once and for all. I donned my bat suit and prepared to face one of my greatest enemies in a battle that would determine the fate of Gotham City. The battle against Ra's al Ghul and the League of Shadows took a toll on me, both physically and mentally. I was constantly grappling with the duality of my life as Bruce Wayne and Batman, and the strain was becoming more apparent each day. My thoughts were consumed by the weight of my responsibility to Gotham and the burden of my secret identity. As Bruce Wayne, I needed to maintain appearances and continue my work at Wayne Enterprises. I had to attend meetings, make public appearances, and live up to the expectations of the people who looked up to me as the face of the company. I could feel the tension mounting as I tried to juggle the demands of my public life with my responsibilities as Batman. Meanwhile, my relationship with Selina had grown more complicated. As Batman, I knew that I couldn't fully trust her, considering her role in the GPD hack and her connection to the League of Shadows. But as Bruce Wayne, I couldn't help but feel drawn to her. The chemistry between us was undeniable, and our shared experiences only served to deepen our connection. I found myself torn between my desire to be with Selina and my responsibility to protect Gotham City. I knew that pursuing a relationship with her could jeopardize my mission and expose my secret identity, but the feelings I had for her were difficult to ignore. One evening, after a long day at Wayne Enterprises, I decided to pay Selina a visit at her apartment. As Bruce Wayne, I wanted to talk to her and try to understand her motives, to see if there was a chance for us to move forward together. When I arrived, Selina greeted me with a mixture of surprise and warmth. We sat on her couch and began to talk, sharing our thoughts and feelings about the events that had transpired. As we spoke, I realized that Selina was struggling with her own duality, caught between her life as Catwoman and her desire to be with me. I wanted to believe that we could find a way to be together, but I knew that it wouldn't be easy. Our lives were intertwined in ways that made pave personal feelings from our duties to Gotham. As much as I wanted to be with Selina, I couldn't abandon my responsibility as Batman. As our conversation came to an end, I knew that I had to make a decision. I had to find a way to balance my dual identity and maintain my focus on protecting Gotham City. I needed to be the hero that the city needed, while also finding a way to be true to myself and my feelings for Selina. The road ahead would be difficult, but I was determined to navigate the challenges that lay before me. It wasn't long before I found myself once again facing Catwoman. This time, however, our encounter was more like a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. Selina was always one step ahead, leaving cryptic clues and messages that seemed to be leading me on a wild goose chase. As Batman, I couldn't help but admire her cunning and resourcefulness. Secrets and mysteries of bats. Seek slider at Z asterisk untitled. Find dialogue, find what, ed, find next, asterisk untitled, notepad. Help but admire her cunning and resourcefulness. She was an expert at exploiting my weaknesses, forcing me to confront the duality of my life as Bruce Wayne and Batman. But as much as I respected her, I couldn't allow myself to be distracted from my mission to protect Gotham City. Selina's attempts to outwit me became increasingly elaborate and dangerous, testing my limits as both a detective and a crime fighter. I found myself navigating a maze of traps, riddles, and deception, all designed to keep me off balance and question my abilities. Despite the challenges that Catwoman presented, I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to her actions than simply trying to evade capture. There seemed to be an underlying message in her antics, a desperate cry for help or understanding that I couldn't quite decipher. As the game continued, I became more determined than ever to uncover the truth behind Catwoman's motives. I knew that she was connected to the League of Shadows, but I couldn't believe that she was entirely beyond redemption. I needed to find a way to reach Selina, to help her see that there was another path available to her. One night, after deciphering one of her cryptic clues, I discovered her hiding in an abandoned warehouse near the docks. Instead of attempting to capture her, I chose to confront her as Bruce Wayne. I removed my cowl and mask, revealing my true identity to her. Selina seemed genuinely shocked by my revelation, but she didn't try to escape. Instead, we engaged in a heartfelt conversation, discussing our struggles with our dual identities and our feelings for one another. I pleaded with her to abandon her life as Catwoman and join me in my mission to protect Gotham City. In the end, Selina agreed to consider my offer, but she made it clear that she needed time to think. As she slipped away into the night, I couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope that our complicated relationship might finally be on the path to resolution. I knew that there were still many challenges ahead, but for the first time, I felt that there might be a chance for Selina and me to find a way to be together, without sacrificing our commitment to Gotham City. As I continued my investigation into the League of Shadows' involvement with the GPD hack, I found myself at the heart of their secret lair, hidden deep beneath Gotham City. It was there that I came face to face with Ra's al Ghul himself. "Welcome, Detective Ra's," greeted me with a sinister smile. "I must admit, I didn't think you would make it this far." "I don't plan on stopping now," I replied, my voice steady and cold. "You and your league will answer for the chaos you've caused in Gotham." Ra's chuckled, his eyes narrowing. "Oh, Batman. You still fail to see the bigger picture. We are merely catalysts for change, a necessary force to cleanse this corrupt city." I clenched my fists, anger boiling within me. "You don't get to decide the fate of Gotham. It's my city, and I will protect it at all costs." "Very well," Ra's said, his tone shifting to one of malice. "Then you will face the consequences of your stubbornness." With a swift motion, he unsheathed a sword, its blade gleaming in the dim light. I followed suit, drawing my own weapon, prepared to defend Gotham to my last breath. Our blades clashed with a deafening ring, and we began a deadly dance of steel and fury. Ra's was a skilled swordsman, but I had honed my skills through countless battles and training sessions with the best. As we fought, I pressed him for answers, trying to understand his true motives. "Why involve the GPD? What do you hope to gain?" "Control," Batman Ra's replied between strikes. By infiltrating the GPD, we gain influence over Gotham's infrastructure, allowing us to shape its future. I dodged a particularly vicious blow, my heart pounding in my chest. I won't let that happen. Our battle raged on, neither of us willing to give an inch. But as the minutes wore on, I began to sense an opening in Ra's defenses. With a final, powerful swing, I disarmed him, sending his sword clattering to the ground. Raz stared at me, his eyes filled with a mixture of rage and resignation. "Finish it," then he spat. I hesitated for a moment, considering my options. But I couldn't bring myself to take his life. Instead, I bound him with my bat rope and prepared to bring him to justice. "You may have won this battle," Batman Raz hissed as I secured him. "But the war is far from over." "I'll be ready," I replied, determined to defend Gotham against any threat that dared to challenge it. "And I won't be alone." After ensuring that Ra's al Ghul and his League of Shadows were safely locked away, I couldn't help but reflect on my tumultuous relationship with Selina Kyle. Our date, which had started as a pleasant evening, had led me down a dark path filled with betrayal, danger, and ultimately, redemption. As Bruce Wayne, I found myself in my study, pouring a glass of whiskey to calm my thoughts. That's when the door creaked open, and Selina entered, her gaze cautious yet inquisitive. "May I come in?" she asked hesitantly. I nodded, gesturing to the seat across from me. "What brings you here, Selina?" She sighed, sitting down and folding her hands in her lap. "I wanted to apologize, Bruce. For everything. I never meant for things to spiral out of control like this." I took a sip of my whiskey, considering her words. "Why did you do it, Selina? Why did you work with the League of Shadows?" Selina looked down, her voice barely a whisper. "At first, it was just for the thrill. But then, I started to believe in their cause, that Gotham needed a dramatic change. I didn't realize how wrong I was until it was too late." I leaned back in my chair, feeling the weight of her words. "You made a mistake, but you also helped me stop the League in the end." Selina looked up, her eyes filled with a mix of gratitude and remorse. "I want to make things right, Bruce. I know I can never fully atone for my actions, but I want to try." I met her gaze, and for a moment, I saw the woman I'd fallen for on that ill-fated date. The woman who, despite her flaws and mistakes, still had a heart that cared for Gotham. "Then let's work together," I said, my voice firm yet compassionate. "We can protect Gotham as a team, side by side." Selina smiled, a hint of hope shining in her eyes. "I'd like that, Bruce." As we sat there, discussing our plans for the future, I couldn't help but think that even in the darkest of times, there was still a chance for redemption and a brighter tomorrow. A few nights later, I found myself on a rooftop overlooking Gotham City, the sounds of sirens and chaos echoing below. I couldn't help but reflect on my growing relationship with Selina. It was complicated, to say the least, but there was something about her that made me believe that we could make a real difference together. As I pondered this, Selina, or Catwoman, as she was now dressed, appeared beside me, her eyes scanning the cityscape. "You seem deep in thought, Bat," she commented, a playful smirk gracing her lips. I turned to her, my voice a low growl. "Just thinking about everything we've been through recently." She nodded, her eyes softening. "It's been a wild ride, hasn't it?" I couldn't help but chuckle at her choice of words. "That's one way to put it." Selina leaned against the ledge, her gaze meeting mine. But we make a good team, don't we? I hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Yes, we do. She grinned, her confidence evident. So, what's our next move, partner? I scanned the city, my mind racing with plans and strategies. We continue to protect Gotham, together. But we also need to focus on rebuilding what was lost during the League of Shadows' reign. Catwoman's eyes sparkled with determination. Sounds like a plan. As we leaped into action, side by side, I couldn't help but feel a renewed sense of purpose. Despite our rocky past, Catwoman and I shared a common goal, to keep Gotham safe and bring justice to those who sought to harm it. And together, we would make that goal a reality. As Catwoman and I continued to dismantle the remnants of the League of Shadows, we came across information that led us to believe there was more to their computer hack plot than we initially thought. In a secret hideout, we discovered a trove of documents detailing their plans. I can't believe it, Selina whispered, scanning the files. Ra's al Ghul was planning to use the computer hack to gain control of the entire city's infrastructure, not just the GPD. I frowned, taking in the gravity of the situation. He wanted to destabilize Gotham and rebuild it in his own twisted image. And he nearly succeeded, she added, her eyes full of concern. I clenched my fist, anger and determination surging through me. We have to put an end to his plans once and for all. We can't allow the League of Shadows to rise again. Catwoman nodded, her expression resolute. Agreed. We need to dig deeper and find out if there are any other threats lurking in the shadows. We spent the following weeks tracking down any leads we could find, dismantling every remaining cell of the League of Shadows that we encountered. It was a grueling process, but we refused to let Ra's al Ghul's twisted vision become a reality. As we fought side by side, our bond strengthened, and our resolve to protect Gotham only grew. Together, we would ensure that the city remained safe from those who wished to destroy it. Just when we thought we had finally rid Gotham of the League of Shadows, a new threat emerged. Reports started coming in of a massive, otherworldly plant growth enveloping entire city blocks, causing panic and chaos in its wake. It didn't take long to deduce that Poison Ivy was behind it. She must have been biding her time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, Catwoman mused as we surveyed the damage from a rooftop. I nodded, my jaw clenched. She's always been a wild card. We need to find her and stop her before this gets any worse. Selina placed a hand on my arm, her eyes filled with determination. We'll stop her, Bruce. Together. We descended into the chaos, battling through the overgrown vegetation that threatened to consume Gotham. As we fought, I couldn't help but feel a sense of déjà vu. It was as if the city was once again under siege by a force we couldn't control. We finally tracked Poison Ivy down to the heart of the overgrowth, where she was using her powers to manipulate the massive plants, causing them to grow and multiply at an alarming rate. Ivy sneered as she saw us approach. Ah, the bat and the cat. I should have known you'd try to stand in my way. You won't succeed, Ivy, I growled, my fists clenched at my sides. Gotham won't be destroyed by your twisted idea of nature's revenge. She laughed, a wicked, chilling sound. We'll see about that. The battle that followed was intense, with Ivy's plants proving to be formidable opponents. But with Catwoman at my side, we fought tooth and nail to protect the city we loved. And, In the end, we managed to subdue Ivy and put an end to her reign of terror. Exhausted but triumphant, Selena and I stood amid the wreckage of Ivy's plot, our hearts heavy with the knowledge that our work was never truly done. There would always be another threat, another battle to fight. But as long as we had each other, we knew we could face whatever challenges Gotham threw our way. As we stood there, catching our breaths, I looked at Selena and realized just how much she had changed since our first encounter. She was no longer the cunning thief I had first met. She had become a true ally and partner in our fight for Gotham. "Selena," I said softly, my eyes meeting hers. "I never properly thanked you for your help with the League of Shadows and everything else. You've proven yourself to be more than just a thief, you're a hero." She looked away, a hint of vulnerability in her eyes. "I didn't do it for the thanks, Bruce. I did it because I realized there was more to life than just looking out for myself. You showed me that." My heart swelled with pride and affection for this remarkable woman who had come so far. "You have a good heart, Selena. And I'm grateful to have you by my side." She smiled, her eyes shining with unshed tears. "I'm grateful, too." In that moment, I knew our relationship had evolved into something much deeper than I had ever anticipated. As we continued to fight for Gotham, we would also be fighting for each other, bound by our shared purpose and the love that had blossomed between us. And though the road ahead would be filled with challenges, I knew we would face them together, as partners and as equals. In the days that followed our victory over the League of Shadows, Gotham City began to heal. The GCPD worked tirelessly to restore order and rebuild their systems, and I was proud to see the resilience of our city's people. Despite the chaos, they came together to support one another and rebuild their lives. One evening, as I stood on the rooftop overlooking the city, Selena joined me. We watched the sunset together, the warm glow casting a golden light over the buildings below. "Things are finally starting to get back to normal," she said, a contented smile on her face. I nodded. "It's been a long road, but we made it through. And we couldn't have done it without you, Selena." She shrugged, trying to brush off the praise. "I just did what needed to be done." I took her hand, giving it a gentle squeeze. "You're an important part of this team, Selena. I hope you know that." She looked at me, her eyes filled with gratitude. "I do, Bruce. And I'm proud to be a part of it." As we stood there, hand in hand, I knew that our partnership was stronger than ever. We had weathered the storm and come out the other side, united in our love for each other and our determination to protect Gotham City. And though we knew there would be more challenges ahead, we were ready to face them together, as Batman and Catwoman, partners in every sense of the word. The scars of the League of Shadows attack on Gotham remained, and I couldn't shake the feeling that more danger lurked in the shadows. As Batman, I knew my mission was to protect the city from those who sought to do it harm. And as Bruce Wayne, I was committed to helping Gotham rebuild and heal. But my quest for vengeance and justice was far from over. There were still remnants of the League of Shadows scattered throughout the city, and I made it my mission to hunt them down and bring them to justice. Alongside Catwoman, we spent our nights tirelessly pursuing leads and engaging in battles with the remaining members of the organization. During the day, I continued to fund and support initiatives to improve the city. I worked with Lucius Fox and Wayne Enterprises to create new jobs and develop cutting-edge technology that would help Gotham City become a safer place for its citizens. But even as we made progress, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was still amiss. Ra's al Ghul's final words echoed in my mind, a haunting reminder of the darkness that still threatened our city. This is not the end, Batman. The League of Shadows will rise again. I knew that my battle against evil would never truly be over. There would always be new threats to face and new challenges to overcome. But with Catwoman by my side and the support of my allies, I was determined to continue my quest for vengeance and justice, for the sake of Gotham City and the people who called it home. Settings window. Use narrator. Exiting narrator.